expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Phoenix, Arizona, Brother Mike is back on the radio. Welcome to HardcoreChristianity.com. Hey, thank you for your time. Thank you for tuning in today. Today's Bible study, Baby Killers. Today on Hardcore. Hey, would you call somebody and tell the radio program's on? I'll make a couple of announcements while you make the call. Thanks for helping the ministry. This is Brother Mike. I'm the professional counselor from the House of Healing in Central Phoenix. We're on 11th Street, just south of Indian School Road and west of the 51 freeway down by the VA hospital in Phoenix. If you go to the website, hardcorechristianity.com, there you will see all of our services. Tuesday night's my new service, Teaching the Deep Things of God. Wednesday night, Diane and Kelly take you into inner healing from child abuse and soul wounds. Thursday night, the faith healers show up to pray for the sick. And Friday is my teaching service for you, my radio listeners. While you're on the website, you can join us on YouTube and Facebook and sign up for a free seminar and hit the PayPal button and send us another donation. Well done. 14 years on the radio. I've never been late on a radio payment thanks to you. The radio shows, by the way, are always available on the internet 24/7. SoundCloud.com/hardcore-Christianity. Baby killers. Baby killers. Did you see this report that came out from the House of Representatives, the Select Panel on Infant Lives? Did you happen to see that report? I did read it, got a copy of it, and I read it. It was very interesting. I wanted to read you a couple of paragraphs out of it. Quote, abortion workers might have delivered babies alive and then killed them in order to harvest their body parts. The House Select Panel on Infant Lives recently revealed in an interim report on the one-year anniversary of the release of the Center for Medical Progress videos. The interim report outlined the progress of the panel and progress they made in its investigations into the abortion and fetal tissue procurement industry. Despite internal obstructions, the panel has faced from its Democratic members, who have even urged non-compliance with congressional subpoenas. The panel is concerned with the history of babies being born alive and the sale of baby parts at some late-term abortion clinics. The panel's investigation has revealed that the whole baby cadavers of a viable age are transferred from some abortion clinics to researchers. The induction abortion procedure has increased the likelihood that infants will be born alive during the abortions, even while the gestational age of viability has lowered due to medical advancements. This intersection, coupled with a profit motive, will be part of the panel's focus in the upcoming months, the report says. Quote, as we previously reported in June, the panel announced that abortion facilities and the fetal tissue companies with which they partnered appear to have violated federal patient privacy law and informed consent regulations. The panel's interim report details various ways in which abortion facilities and the fetal tissue companies with which they worked potentially illegally cut corners in order to maximize profits. At a recent press conference, the members of the select panel, one of them, Representative Vicky Hartzler, who's a Republican from Missouri, said the panel's investigator has shined a light on the sad, dark world, quote unquote, of the fetal tissue industry. They found evidence that some abortion providers altered abortion procedures in a manner that substitutes what is best for the patient with a financial benefit for both the abortion clinic and the procurement business. This is consistent with the Center for Medical Progress findings and videos showing Dr. Deborah Nucatola, a Planned Parenthood abortionist, discussing how she tailors abortion procedures to maximize her chances of obtaining intact fetal organs. That was that guy in California who was later acquitted of secretly filming these abortion people when the scandal broke in 2015, as you might remember. What in the world is going on here? We're turning into China. Now, we're way behind China, of course. We'll never catch up with them. We have like 2 million abortions a year. They have 20 million abortions in China a year. That is a country that, of course, is cursed by Satan in numerous ways. But with 20 million abortions going on, you can imagine the level of demonic stronghold in China, because it's so powerful. Here, we only have 2 million abortions a year here. Most of them are minorities. And when you saw those videos last year of these abortionists and the matter-of-fact attitude they had about selling body parts gave you the chills. But it also reminded me of Romans chapter 1 and Jesus' words, as you know, that the second coming, at the time of the second coming, it will be very much like the days of Noah. That's what Jesus said. What were the days of Noah like? Well, Paul kind of outlines it in Romans chapter 1. He has a powerful analysis of what human beings were like in the old world before the flood. And it says, quote, "The wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness." What is the truth? Well, the truth is that abortion is a sin, obviously, that a fetus is a human being under the laws of the great country of the United States of America. For example, in almost every state, if you murder a woman who's pregnant and you get caught, you are going to be charged with a double homicide. The child is considered a living person, and you can get 2 life sentences or two sentences based on 2 deaths. Well, the truth is that man was made in God's image. You know, in the Hebrew there in Genesis chapter 1, that means form and shape. We were made in the image and likeness of God. In Hebrew, that means form and shape, which means that you, believe it or not, look like God. God has 2 arms, 2 legs, 10 fingers, 10 toes, 1 head, 1 torso. He looks like you. He created you to look like him. Now, of course, his facial features are different. He's very unique there. None of us look like that. But he's still a person. We were created persons, and we are all made in the image and likeness of God. And Paul goes on to say, quote, "Because that which may be known of God was already manifested in them, for God showed it to them." And what he talks about later is, of course, nature itself illustrates that there's a God. Everybody knows in their heart that abortion's a lie, that abortion is a sin. They know that evolution is a fabrication. They know it's not true, down deep in their conscience, but they've been programmed or trained in their mind to believe lies. They believe lies. It says, quote, "For the invisible things from God, from the creation of the world, are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made." Yes, so when you think about the spirit world, it's very similar to the natural world, almost like similar images in a way. And it says, even God's eternal power and Godhead, so that human beings are without an excuse. Human beings know deep in their conscience there really is a God. Evolution's a lie and abortion is a sin. Everybody knows that in their conscience. Everybody knows there's a God. You look up in the sky, you see the universe, you see the incredible complexity of the planet Earth, you see the miracle of the human body and its deep-seated complexity. You know it couldn't have happened by chance. Everybody knows that. It's just human stupidity not to admit it. Paul goes on, he says, quote, "Because of that, when they knew God, they did not glorify him as God, neither were they thankful to him, but they became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart grew dark. That's what that congressman said about the abortion business. It's a dark world. Paul said they profess themselves to be wise, but then they became fools. You couldn't describe our scientists, our atheists, our agnostics any better than that verse he quotes out of Psalms. He says these human beings in the olden days changed the glory of God, of the uncorruptible God, into an image, like a bird or an animal or something that creeps around. Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lusts of their own hearts. Wow. Lusts of their own hearts. To dishonor their own bodies between themselves. And it says they changed the truth of God. The truth of God. Everybody knows it's a sin to kill unborn infants. Everybody knows that. They changed the truth of God into a lie. The lie is it's somebody's right to choose. They worship the creature, the created thing, more than they did the Creator. So God gave them up to vile affections. And it goes on to explain homosexuality, gay and lesbian. But check it out. Jesus said something to us that's a tremendous warning. He said to us, Mark chapter 4, take heed what you hear. For what measure you mete, it will be measured back to you. Unto you that hear, more shall be given. But to him that has something, even what little he has will be taken from him. What's he saying there? You better guard yourself about what you hear and what you believe, because you're going to have to give an account of that. You're going to have to give an account of that in eternity as a Christian at the judgment seat of Christ, as a sinner at the great white throne judgment. There is a day of reckoning for all of us. We're all going to be there. And this day cannot be handled or thought of any more lightly than it is anymore in our society. This is a grave and hideous sin. How sick are people going to get, as in the days of Noah, before the second coming of Christ? Well, here's one of them. People are nuts.
The views expressed on the preceding program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program has been sponsored by Michael W. Smith.